Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about Curtis and Jordan for a minute. Jesus Christ, Curtis. I do not get this man sometimes. I really don't. And I do actually try. So Jordan comes over and, they compliment each other on how they look. And, Jordan starts getting, she starts getting pretty hands on about Curtis. And then Curtis is like, no. Curtis pretty much tells Jordan that he doesn't like. How do I even sit down and put it? He pretty much uses Taggart as an excuse for his final straw. Talking about you and him have such a good working relationship, and you share everything with him. And the minute I got there, I realized that it can never be us. And granted, I said this before. Because Jordan was like, "Yo, listen, like you seemed like you had something important to say when you came over." And this time, he used that last time that they saw each other as an excuse to um, pretty much ask for a divorce at this point. That's literally what he says. And then he's all like, we tried and everything like that. It's like, and I wish it wouldn't be like this. And I was like, no, no. The minute he was like, I wish it wouldn't be like this, I was like, bro, you didn't even seem like you tried to work on your relationship at all. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Curtis doesn't have a right to be upset with how Jordan was handling things. I'm not. But, at the end of the day, even Laura's like, people aren't perfect. They make mistakes. You learn from them. You grow. Hopefully you grow together. But he never seemed like he bothered to put in the work to try to make the relationship work. No marriage counseling, nothing. Just so after he sort of uses not just Taggart's relationship with Jordan, but also just like her work a little bit. Talking about there's things you won't be able to tell me and yada yada yada. And then Jordan's like, listen, I'm not like quitting my job, and he's like, oh, I wouldn't ask you to. I mean, it really wouldn't matter. After he does all that BS, and Jordan's about to leave, you know what this jackass does? He's like, could we have one final dance? I'm sorry, what? Let me get this straight. You practically just broke this woman's heart. Okay? You rejected her, you broke her heart. You didn't seem like you even really tried to work on your marriage. And you have the audacity that you have the audacity to sit there and ask her for one last dance. So, as an audience member, I'm literally sitting through this really sad scene. Well, I mean, not like This Is Us sad, but like this sad scene of them dancing and her crying and him just being like, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to begin on what's wrong with that. I just there's so many words I want to sit there and use for Curtis, but I think we'll just be here all night and just know. Besides, I don't want to get too negative. Now let's talk about Portia and Taggart. Well, replacement Taggart, dollar store Taggart, whatever Taggart you want to sit there and call him, the other guy. Um, and I really had to sit there and say that because the minute that I saw him there, I was like, what the? Anyway, they're talking, and Taggart reveals that he knew that Portia was cheating on him, and he knew that it was Curtis. And here's the thing. Taggart seemed like he was pretty okay with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I applaud him for taking responsibility and pretty much the destruction of the marriage. You know, her cheating on him and him being like, listen, I wasn't there for you. You know, I wasn't good to you. And I get that to some extent. But there's just a couple of things that's just wrong with all that. Pretty much the way I look at it is that, well, listen, I don't really find an excuse to sit there and cheat on someone. I don't think there's really a viable excuse to actually cheat on someone. Because you could just man up or woman up and sit there and say, listen, this isn't working. This isn't working for us. It isn't working for me. And we got to do something else. There's always another way other than, oh, I did it and it was a mistake, or oh, I did it and I didn't mean to, or, one of those usual BS excuses. So the fact that he was just like, yeah, no, I get it. I wasn't there in the relationship and yada, yada, yada. I'm just like, bro. And then also, I just want to kind of just point this out. And I cannot stress this enough. And I don't want to make it sound like a PSA. But let's just put it this way. Not every man is going to sit there and take, someone that they're with, as far as cheating on them, as okay as that guy. Okay, I just want everyone to know that he doesn't speak for everyone in the classroom. Let's just put it that way. I mean, this dude literally was like, no, I totally get it. I'm like, could you like twitch your eye a little bit? Could you pretend that you're a little upset? Fine line between, taking responsibility to some extent and whatever the hell he was doing. And, Portia was like, listen, I'm not trying to come in between them. I'm rooting for them and everything like that. I'm like, okay, Portia. I sort of buy that a little bit. Sort of. Listen, I don't think that she's going out trying to intentionally trying to hook up with Curtis. They're good friends. They've known each other for a while. And they're not going behind anyone's back or anything like that. But I know she's kind of being like, there's some feelings there, okay? It's not like it's voided. So let's talk about Maxie and Britt real quick. Pretty much all they do throughout this episode is brainstorm. Brainstorm on what they're going to do with the baby after she's born. There's a couple ideas. It just pretty much doesn't work. Spinelli, Robin, and then Britt is like, I'll take the baby and put him somewhere. And, Maxie's like, he'll kill you, right? Like, you'll be dead. You'll be dead. And, of course, Britt's like, well, then I guess the secret would die with me. So, obviously, I don't think that's a plan. I don't think that's a viable plan. I think, and what everyone else is there thinking, is that Brooklyn is going to be the one that's going to wind up, safeguarding Maxie's child. They're going to somehow figure out that Brooklyn is not pregnant, or something's going to happen. Because I thought it was going to happen last time, but something's going to happen. I feel like that's going to be the most viable plan, but I guess we'll just wait and see. So yeah, if anyone's wondering who got poisoned, well, it was Chase. Let's be honest, I felt like if it was Gregory, I felt like in a lot of ways that that he was going to go before Jackie. I really felt like if it came down between one of those two, I feel like it was going to be Gregory. I just do. I just do. And I don't know if it's more because of the fact that she's a bigger name than him or anything like that. I just felt like it was going to be him. And plus, I feel like everyone wants Gregory to stay. I feel like a lot of people want Gregory to stay and Jackie to go. And, well, soap operas tend to just kind of sometimes do the exact opposite of what we all want. So, Yeah. Anyway, it's Chase. And he's feeling like crap. And Finn is like, yo, you wanna go get a thermometer? Like, you good? But Chase is like, I'm good, I'm just tired, and he's resting. Now while he's resting, um, he's having these like delusional fantasies. These fantasies of Willow wanting to come back, wanting to be back with him. Wanting to try again and everything like that. He wakes up and he's like, yo, I'm gonna have to call out sick. And then he gets in bed and he's like shivering. So yeah. Now meanwhile, just as we left off last time where Valentine and Anna cornering Peter like a rat, well, Anna shocks the hell out of Peter, takes him downstairs, and Finn shows up. Now, Valentine dropped his wallet, and Anna and Finn are talking. They're talking about Violet and the stuffed animal, and, Finn tells Anna that, Chase is his son, and she's like, what is that like? And he cuts down and he leaves because he just does not feel like unpacking that. But before he does, he sees Valentine's wallet, and, well, he just looks at it like, oh, so it's that type of party, huh? And then Anna's like, well, we're coming with a plan to take care of Peter. And Finn is like, well, you're not going to tell me what it is, right? Yeah, good talk. So with that being said, he leaves. Meanwhile, you got Peter just acting like a villain, talking about, oh, you should thank me for getting so close to Anna and stuff like that. You talk about I'm obsessed and you've been obsessed with her for years and yada yada yada. So when Anna comes downstairs, and they pretty much kind of talk about how they're going to sit there and take him somewhere. Peter's like, listen, I pretty much have an insurance policy. So if you're thinking about just something to me, just know that somebody in, one of your loved ones is going to be, dead. So, yeah. And, I feel like the last scene, and I could be wrong, but I feel like the last scene is with Michael and Willow. Well, pretty much, they basically tell each other how they feel. This only took about 3 to 4 months, give or take, but we finally got there. What's really sad? I know some people are probably like, oh, so good that Willow and Willow and Michael got together, and they played their mattress tag and everything like that. And they got together and they finally told each other how they feel. And, part of me was like, can somebody just tell somebody how they feel so that way they could just kind of get this over with? But you know what? At the end of the day, it's not really going to matter. Their moment of bliss that they're going to be having is going to be interrupted. It's going to be interrupted by Chase being sick, Willow watching over Chase, making sure he's okay, and Michael just being assed out like he always is. Because for some odd reason, I feel like the writers just really don't want to see Michael happy for too long. They want to see him happy, just not for too long. Sabrina, Star Kiki into, they changed actresses. Now, I think there was that woman that Michael dated before Nell screwed that up. And, there was that time he was on a really bad date. Anyway, point is, it's not going to go well for Michael in the end. And, yeah. But, listen, I don't think people should really get too down about that because he's going out with the woman that plays Sally. The video that I had to pretty much delete because a certain channel, pretty much a certain channel decided to copy strike my video, but I'm not mad about that. Totally mad about that, but whatever. And with that being said, I think that's about it. I don't think I really missed too much. If I did, write it down in the comment section below. I really want to know why OG Tagger isn't here again and why we have this other version of him there. Listen, I'm not. I'm trying not to call him the dollar store version of him, but I just don't know what else to call him. I don't think he does a bad job, but he plays him differently, and he has a different mood and kind of a different tone when he's acting. I don't think it's bad, but it's like a little bit. It's sort of like Jason and Drew. You know, they can both play Jason, but they do play them very differently. And it's I don't want to sit there and say it's like night and day, but there's a difference. And that's the thing with this with OG Taggart and this new guy, and I just when are we actually gonna get the OG Taggart back? And Curtis, you know, listen, on one note, I'm glad that he did finally make up his mind and he filed for divorce, even though he said that he wished he didn't have to because he didn't really seem like he tried to put any work into the marriage that was failing, and you know, just kind of take two to kind of make it go downhill. I'm not blaming him for the lying and the lying part, but he didn't really try to do much to save it. So I just like, and then again, the fact that he asked her, I can't get over that. I can't get over the fact that he asked her for one last dance. I'm pretty sure she was about to go out to start doing some crying, and she didn't want to do that in front of you. But I don't know if this was to satisfy your own ego or something. I just, anyway, like I said, I can kind of just go on about that. But I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow is actually going to be kind of another late day. But then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know, business as usual. But I want to thank everyone for watching in general. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are about Curtis, because he seems like he's the man of the hour for me at this point. Let me know what your thoughts are. Thank you for watching. Be safe. I will catch you in the next video.